Hey everyone, what is up? This is another weekly edition of everyone's favorite show here on YouTube, the Vlog. Now, I announced earlier, I posted a little bulletin on Facebook and I think on Twitter about a Extreme Rules preview, I should say, since Extreme Rules is this weekend. And let me tell you, Extreme Rules is one of my all-time favorite wrestling pay-per-views. Anything goes, any kind of match. I just love the whole theme of the pay per view. And if you notice, obviously WWE has a bunch of different themes. I don't know why my webcam's so dark, but at least it seems that way to me. But anyway, I love the whole idea of having a theme for your pay per views, and I think that WWE is doing one heck of a job. WrestleMania, the big ones like their World Series, the Royal Rumble, where 30 men enter a ring and only one can leave as the number one contender. Then you got bragging rights, which shows is better, SmackDown and Raw. And you also have Survivor Series. What team is better? Not necessarily based off shows like SmackDown will have their own Survivor Series match, Raw will have their own Survivor Series match. SummerSlam, which is kind of like the equivalence of WrestleMania, but in the summer and a lot less low on the scale. But yeah, you have those. What else do you have? TLC, Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank. So I love the whole gimmicky pay-per-views. I really do. But without further ado, let's jump right on into the Extreme Rules card. I'll run down the card and review the matches individually. Number 1. And these are matches that are actually confirmed right now, non-spoiler. Match number 1, Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross versus Michael Cole and Jack Swagger in a country whipping match. Then you have The Miz versus Cena and John Morrison in a steel cage triple threat match. Christian versus Alberto Del Rio in a ladder match for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. Then you also have Randy Orton versus CM Punk in a last man standing match. And last but not least, Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio in a falls count anywhere match. Now, let's, like I said, just run right down the list here. Well, first up we have the country whipping match of Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross taking on Michael Cole and Jack Swagger. I think that as in this match, I think this pay-per-view, in my opinion, is going to end a lot of feuds, and that I think with this one, this is it. This is the final match between Lawler and Cole, and I think Cole's still going to be a heel announcer, and he does it so well. It's hard not for him to do it, but I think that in the long run, Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross are going to win this match. I just don't. If to me the feud's dying down a lot, I just don't see Cole and Swagger winning whatsoever. I don't know how Ross and Lawler are going to win, but I really do think they are. And I don't even know what a country whipping match is. So, hopefully some kind of insight will be given to us. If not, then I'm sure WWE will just play it by ear. I was kind of stunned, to be honest, when I heard JR was going to be in a match at Extreme Rules. So, I mean, that's just me, though. He's one hell of an announcer, though. You gotta give him credit. I'm gonna jump around a little bit than what I actually just mentioned. Cody Rhodes taking on Rey Mysterio in a Falls Count Anywhere match. This is another match I think is just gonna end at Extreme Rules, and if that's the case, Cody Rhodes won at WrestleMania, so I'm gonna say Rey Mysterio wins here, and that also ends their feud. So if there's any kind of like WrestleMania rematch in the works somewhat, I think that their opponent's going to win. Let's just put it that way. And with it being a Falls Count Anywhere match, I really do expect Rey to just wow us like he always has, and I think he will. And it's tough with him going to Raw. I mean, this is obviously their last encounter, until next year's draft, and we'll see then, or maybe something happens in between, who knows. But point is, I really think that Mysterio is going to win, because Cody has been getting the best of him in their matches, so for me it makes sense for Rey to win. Randy Orton taking on CM Punk in a last man standing match. I'm looking forward to this match a lot, because you have two guys who are the most methodical in WWE today. You have Randy Orton, the Viper. He hears the voices in his head. Then you have CM Punk, who's a very psychological wrestler in that he gets inside your head, and he doesn't call Randy Orton, Randy Orton. He calls him Randall, and he calls him Randall Keith Orton. And, just like those minor things. I know it's wrestling, I know it's the male soap opera, but I think it's those little things that will play against a wrestler. And you notice I actually use the term wrestler as opposed to superstar because I think it's boring and dull to say superstar when it's wrestling, and so he's going to be referred to as wrestling. Now you also have no, now you get on to championship matches. This is a very small card. You have Christian versus Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship in a ladder match for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship, I should say, as Edge did relinquish his title due to injury, which is always a shame in WWE. Shawn Michaels had a very serious back injury back in the day, like I can't remember what year. He came out saying that he was forced to retire, but the doctors basically said, well, if you keep rehabbing strongly enough, you can come back. It is possible, and look what happened. He came back, and he even won the title. So, I don't know why I'm getting off track and even talking about Edge now, but I think that Edge still really wants to be a part of the business, but it's a shame that he has to go out this way. So I really do expect him to be around a lot more. Anyway, that being said, I think Christian's going to win. You know what? No, Christian will win. It doesn't make sense for him not to win because Del Rio's on Raw now. So you mean to tell me that Raw's going to get a championship title and they're also going to get the one from SmackDown, the World Heavyweight title? I don't see that happening. To me, that's, if you're going to have two titles, that just doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. I think, if anything, this is Christian's time to shine. Ladder matches are his specialty, and if anyone can pull this off, it's going to be Christian. And I really hope that he gets over more and more with the crowd. And I firmly do believe he's done an amazing job doing what he has been doing. And I can honestly say that Christian's going to win at Extreme Rules. The next pay-per-view, I don't even know what it is, but I think Del Rio's going to win. And maybe they'll have, afterwards, maybe Christian will invoke his rematch clause on SmackDown and Del Rio keeps it, and that'll be the end of that. But I think for the time being, Christian, I think he is main event bound, and I think he will win the title. It's just, for me, it's just hard to imagine him not to. And I'm trying not to sound like a broken record, guys, but I really do feel that having two major titles on Raw and none on SmackDown is horrendous to me. That's terrible booking, I think. Because the fans are going to want to see titles on Raw and a title on SmackDown. That's just how it is. So, I really do feel that Christian is going to win. Now, the last one, and another match I'm really looking forward to, The Miz take on John Cena and John Morrison, triple threat steel cage match for the WWE Championship. Now, Miz has held the belt since, I believe, November, I want to say. I never thought he'd even beat Morrison in terms of becoming a champion, because a lot of people viewed Morrison as almost like a Marty Jannetty of the tag team when The Miz won the title. I've heard, and I've read so many comments here on YouTube, I've just heard, the fans and everything. Everyone said that, oh, Morrison's going to be the Marty Jannetty. But then I got to thinking, he could be. But that's not what they're going to do. I think what they're going to do now is one of two scenarios. The first one is one I want to see personally, is The Miz will lose to Morrison, and somehow Cena gets dropped out of the picture. And then you have Miz versus Morrison at the next pay-per-view. I think that they should do that, to see these two men who are former tag team champions, and then The Miz just totally turned his back on them the way he did. No one saw it coming. That was the great thing about it. And, Miz became a champion. So, I really do think that Morrison might even win. So I'm going to have to lean towards Morrison for that reason. However, with Morrison's feud with R-Truth, I don't see any kind of scenario to where R-Truth will not come out. If R-Truth doesn't come out and interfere in that match in any way, I will be surprised. I think that Morrison might even try to climb out of the cage. R-Truth comes and puts right back in it, or he does something to where Morrison doesn't win. And maybe, I don't want to say this, but maybe R-Truth will keep feuding with Morrison and Miz will keep feuding with Cena. I don't want to see that because those guys have been feuding for a while, Miz and Cena. But I think at the same time, if you want to join R-Truth into the picture, okay, that's fine. But, it's like if you have him attack Morrison and have those guys start a feud, Cena and The Miz are just going to be like, okay, well, we're going to have to keep feuding and keep doing what we do. So it's a real tough scenario, but I don't know. To me, it's just really odd. But I think all in all, my winner for that match will be John Morrison. I, honestly, I've been thinking about this a while though, because I've been thinking about my picks for a long time now, and I really do think Morrison is going to win. But at the same time, I'm half and half because if R-Truth comes out, then Morrison's not going to win. But if R-Truth doesn't come out somehow, Morrison will win. I'm fencing it, but I do think that Morrison will win in the long run. So let's go through and do a little quick version here. Lawler and Ross versus Cole and Swagger in a country whipping match. Lawler and Jim Ross I have. Miz versus Cena and John Morrison for the title, the WWE Championship inside a steel cage. I have John Morrison winning. Then we have Christian versus Alberto Del Rio in a ladder match for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. Christian hands down will win. Randy Orton versus CM Punk in a last man standing match. Did I even choose a winner for that? I don't think I did. Now I'm looking at it. I honestly don't think I did. But I'll have to say Randy Orton, because I don't even think I really said. But and then you also have Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio, and I think Rey Mysterio will win that. So there you go. That's your little Extreme Rules preview. And have a good one, and I'll see you guys next time.